Okay, let's look for trades. So right now I'm carrying these following trades. Sorry, I got a bit of a cold. Microsoft right now statistically is a good buy under the 200 SMA, but there really isn't anything technical about why it's a good trade. I'm holding MSFU shares just so I don't have to use as much buying power. But earnings season is coming in really close, and I bought here, and I wasn't expecting so much volatility due to the data center news about the nuclear power. I believe Microsoft got knocked around a lot by that. I was expecting just bounce here off the 50 and then straight up and through, being able to ride it to the all-time high before, or kind of maybe somewhere being like around here at earnings, ideally. So then I could do stuff. I could sell maybe a call against it, or I could at least move my stop to break even or something and watch the earnings reaction. But right now it's kind of stuck in this area right through here. So hopefully I get a little bit more motion through. Right now it's still in profits, but just barely. My stop is kind of down in here in this 405 zone, so the sizing is quite small. Ideally I'd like to add to it, but I can't do anything with it right now. TVTX has been really great. I entered through here and just held on tight during these two spike dips, and had my stop under here, and then took some partials around this area right through here, and it's still going. It's very deep in profits. It's going to be like a 3x winner, which is good. But the only downside here, the only issue here, is that it's at the weekly 200 SMA, which I'm not sure how much is going to be a line of resistance for it, but we'll see. Because right now, I'm going to exit if any candle closes under 17 bucks, basically. So basically, I'm hoping it stays kind of above the 8 EMA, give or take, and rides this trend line up and through here. But right now, that's in profits. RKLB is in profits as well. I had calls down through here. I was expecting it to break out through here because it actually has hit this high in pre-market, but it hasn't revisited that. But usually, if you hit a pre-market level, unless the market takes a big turn or there's different news about the stock, it'll eventually hit it again. So I'm just sitting on it right now. I actually had to take assignment on the call, so I'm holding the shares. But I'm in profits on this thing right now. I think break even is like down in here, maybe somewhere around in there. So we'll keep riding RKLB as well. It's got bullish options flow on it as well. I'm hoping it just kind of keeps cruising up in this channel. AUR is one I took right through here. It looked pretty good. Now, it might need a pullback. I'm not sure. But I've taken partials on it already, and I have a stop kind of down here at break even. That's a little close. I don't want to have to stop out, but I kind of do have to because of the nature of how it broke out. I kind of do have to take a stop break even right through there. Ideally, I'd like to just let it ride a little bit more, but it's a little shady. It's a little choppy. It's a little shady. It's not really that aggressively bullish. I'm not sure about it. So I've already taken some partial profits on it, and if I stop out, then whatever. CLPT I managed to catch right off the 5-minute candle right through here. My entry was here, stop was under there, and because it was Friday, I took a couple of 12.5 calls for like lotto 12.5 calls for like a couple of pennies, like maybe 20% of my risk, and that let me slam this down really early. Sometimes when you see Momo stocks like this break out with a little gap up, and you know it's all been confirmed through there, by the way. If you test all the AV WAPs under there, it's been confirmed. Look at this nice rip, pull back, and break through there. It got rejected off a big AV WAP, but if it doesn't come all the way back down, it finds support up to 50 right through there. The next time it attacks it, it'll probably break it. So it took partial profits up and through here, which paid for whatever I was risking here plus the lottos. So I'm happy with that. It's already a 100% winner. But now I have a stop break even, and I'm just going to see how far I can get on this thing. If it pulls back and stops me out or whatever, no big deal. I don't lose any more money. I'm already in profits. It's great. Ideally, I get a nice little mini version of a breakout setup. Because look, if you imagine this was a D1 EMA or a D1 chart, you'd kind of want to see probably another like stop here, or like another like pop here and then down, and then I could draw a trend line more shallow through there, and then I get a confirmed break over there, and I could add back in to my original full size again and try to trade it up through there. That'd be pretty greedy, but we'll see what happens with there. I've also got this one. This one was too early of an entry. I took some 5 calls on it as well, so I've paid back some of the risk as well. So if this loses, it's only about a 50% loss, and I can sit on these till mid-November. They're November calls. They're sized for 100% loss, so it is what it is. Could still work. APPS was a nice breakout, but there's a little bit of gunk in the way. I'm not sure how well this one is going to do. It hasn't broken halfway through this entry candle here. I entered on this day. I have November calls. I can hold a pullback if I want. Hopefully I just get a bounce off the 50 and we keep going up. Like there's a couple of trend lines that'll stop it. Like I said, I have till November. If I wanted to and it breaks below here, I could still just exit and it wouldn't even be 100% loss or like a full-size risk loss. I size it for regular loss. But Manhattan was right. There are a couple of trend lines that are kind of in the way, even though this is a great pullback, consolidation, and pop. I really like this, but the overall context leaves it a bit gunky up in here, so we're not sure. GLW, I've had to sit on this one a little while. I managed to catch it here at 46.15 on my entry, and then just wait on it. I'm not sure what it's going to do right now. Kind of looks promising, kind of bullish. We'll see. This candle is a little bit disconcerting. It's taken its sweet-ass time to get going. Usually you don't have to wait like 10 days for this thing to keep going, but hey, if you got shares, you can keep rocking it. Earnings is here, though, so I'm going to have to see something happen pretty soon. AMSC, I hate this stock so much. It's so choppy and volatile. Even when it does set up and all the TA works really well on it, it's still going to take you for a ride. I have no idea how this one's going to pan out. We'll see. I don't have these puts on it anymore. Sometimes I'll put some protective puts on it. I don't know if that's profitable in the long run. We'll see, but it definitely gives me peace of mind to slam it down. ATGL entered here. I'm just sitting on this one. We'll see what happens. I mean, the upside is just too nuts. So if it breaks through here, it's already above the all-time highest anchored VWAP is right there. And today it broke above. So we'll see. Sometimes it uses this 20-day moving average as a stop, but it's super, super low market cap. So this thing's either going to dunk on me and I'm stuck with it. The downside is about 3R, but the upside is really crazy. The only thing I have to worry about is if it does rip, there's a potential they'll just offer shares, and so I might want to just take profits on it quick. And then I have like two strangles that have more time on them. Groupon, I like this engulf through here, but I don't like that. We'll see what'll happen. And IonQ, it was a little extended, so I took a strangle on it instead of just going long shares. It's in profits right now, but I think I can get a little more out of it. I think I can get up to like 130, 150% winner. Right now it's like 30% winner. So those are the trades I got right now. Okay, let's see what we got. So I'm just going to look at my regular like momentum crap, and then we'll go from there. Actually, you know what? Let's start with other stuff. Bullish option flows. So these are all stocks that have like unusually high options premium purchased on them. Pretty short out, like 60 days out. A lot of them are out of the money buys, and they're like very high sweeps. So somebody knows something we don't. I still wait for them to set up, technically, but Roku is one of them. We had to wait for Netflix earnings, but now this is a little bit of a janky compression. I'm not sure if I can really get sharp on the entry on this one, but we'll see. It still has bullish flow. Amazon, I really like the bullish flow on that one too, but once again, it's choppy. So I want to see this kind of maybe tighten up a little bit before I take an entry on it. I might have to wait for, let me see here. Is that an algo? No. I might have to wait for like that. Like it keeps making new trend lines. If you look at the RVol, yeah, it keeps making new trend lines. I'm not sure. I might have to wait for a break over this candle. Yeah, if you see the volume on that down in there, I'll probably have to wait on a break on that candle, and hopefully I can put a stop pretty low on this thing and really take off. But if it gets away in you, it gets away in you. We've got earnings on the 31st, so it better move quick. There's $483,000 worth of 195 calls for November 1st expiry on it. Somebody bought that, so somebody knows something. Or somebody rich who likes to gamble. TTD is a beautiful setup. But you can't take this one now yet. Because you broke down through all of these kind of like anchored VWAPs, all of these like liquidity points in this compression, and it just hammered right back up through it. If you look at the 5-minute chart, it dipped and it hammered right back through it. Like none of this has been confirmed as a bid. So although this looks fantastic, I can't touch it yet. So hopefully I'm hoping for a dunk back into there, like a little bit of bid confirmation, and then a breakout through here, and I'll take an entry through there with a low under wherever the heck it went. And then I love to take that type of long. This one has a lot of bullish flow in it as well. And it's at is it at all-time high? Yeah, all-time high. This one looks promising, but 2.3 billion market cap. I'm not sure if it has consolidated enough for me to just grab that. IREN has a lot of bullish flow in it, but I want to see it maybe pull back a bit, bounce down and through here. I don't know what that is. I'd love to see it break the 100, but then confirm support off the 100 so that I have like maybe a higher foothold here, and I can take an entry through here with a stop maybe down in there. Because if it just cranks through there, I have to take that and I have to put a stop like there, and then my upside is like crap. APLD. This doesn't look as good of a D1 setup as you might think, but the reason why I like this one, it's coming back to confirm in through there. It might need to check this down and through there. It might need to bounce off that down in there as well. But the options on this thing are like very, very well priced. For some reason, you can, like, if you catch a runner on this, the options will pay you like 300%. They're really tight strikes, and they're priced very decently. That's why I have this one on watch. Meta, I really like. I like this big rip. This thing's not going to be ready ideally for like 2 weeks, something like that. It's at the 20 moving average. I'd like to see it almost pull down to here, then come back up, chop around a little bit, and then break this at the same time that this line through here comes and meets it. So hopefully we see something like a breakout through like early November. I'll take another one through there. This right here was a fantastic one. This was too overextended, but luckily it waited for us a bit, and then you could take it on a break of these two highs with a stop right here. And then the upside on that was, let me see, that's a $13 to $15 stop. And then it didn't break the 10 SMA until $55 up. So I don't know what that is, like 3 or 4 to 1. Pretty damn good. What else we got? ASTS, everyone's talking about this one. You had a really nice squeeze in through here. You could have day traded that. That's good. But right now I need a little bit more of a base before it can continue further. But it's damn close. It's confirmed everything on the way up. I just need to see it break over here. And then you can ride it to there. As soon as you reach that, I would take partial profits, even if it's not been about 3 days or so. And then I would put stop big even. Sometimes you'll see like a closer resistance point, and you go, oh, I don't know. I want to have a room to run. You can always just move your stop to break even and take a little bit off the top and see what happens. You'd be surprised because the greater context of this thing is outrageous. So hopefully that works out well. LUMN, I like that. This is a really nice lead up, but this thing has been difficult to catch. It's been slippery. I don't like this type of entry here. That's way too extended. I can't even get 100% return. And it's not like the win rate is like a wiki trade where it's like 80-90% win rate. This is more like 60 to 80%. So I'd love to see maybe a doji sandwich, like Dave says. 1 or 2 of them. Let the 8 EMA catch up with it and then take it from there. I'll keep it on watch though. Drug, I don't know what to do with this thing. Can you short this thing if it like gaps up and it goes red? Maybe. It's fun to watch. MU is going to be quite good. I think there's bullish flow on it as well. It's already broken out through here, but it didn't confirm. It didn't stick. So all I need to do really is I need to wait for it just to get through here, and I'll enter it right through here with a stop maybe under here, something like that. It's looking nice, and then I could probably ride it up into the gap attempt, hopefully, and then maybe even further. MU is actually quite promising. It's out of all the semis, it's still like one of the cheaper priced ones, I believe. I don't know too much fundamental shit. Google. People have been lately talking about how Google is generally undervalued in terms of the Mag 7, or like how come no one's buying this thing because the other Mag 7s are going up. This is a nice run through here. Nice dip, nice little compression, higher lows, bouncing off the 200 and the 50. It's not ready yet. I'll take it over the 100, which means it needs to break this trend line, and it might even create another trend line that's like more shallow. We'll see. But I'm just going to watch this one. This one's not going to be ready for a while. It probably won't be ready until, once again, like November-ish, which is going to be a bullish month anyway statistically, so I'm just going to keep it on watch. So those are the ones that aren't like crazy big Momo, like high ADR stocks. There's probably some others that are setting up, some compressions and stuff. I know I've been trying to catch CVNA, but this thing is a wild animal, and you can't really use a lot of options on it because the premiums are ridiculous. So maybe I could take, if I need an aggressive entry on it, I could take it and then put like a PDS down here or something. I'm not sure what I can do. I'm going to have to use 90% of my max size because it's not quite high enough ADR, and I'm going to use too much account. Hopefully it tightens up a bit, but this thing's a wild animal, and it looks like it wants to break out any second now. But it just quite hasn't confirmed. It quite hasn't really like sequentially bounced off the bids on the way up. And so every time it comes out, it's just going to fake you out, trap you underneath. You're really going to have to wait to catch this thing. And be careful. And then what else do we got? PLTR usually is always good to go. Something going on there. The issue with this one, though, is it's ripped 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Is it going to give you a 5th entry? Maybe. Or does it need more of a global pullback to like the 50, chop around and go up again? There's a little bit of issues here. There's a lot of volume up and through here. I'm not sure about this one. This is a monstrously high market cap to take something that you expect to really run, like off this small of a dip. I don't know about PLTR right now. This was a beautiful entry, though. Holy crap. The problem was the market wasn't necessarily telling you it was time to go long right through there. But if you decided to go for it and you grabbed it like maybe halfway through the day, dollar stop, and it went 3 to 1. But, I mean, if you were just like, this thing is nuts, like it's going climactic, and you just took profits like around in here somewhere, you get like a 4 to 1 on it. It was very profitable. All right, let's see what we can get. Sorry, my nose is plugged. I'm going to start from the Zeds. Yes, I am Canadian. That's how we say the letter. Okay. Nothing there. Zura. Biotechs are going to be very good in November, and a lot of them are already going. So keep an eye out for biotechs. If you look at XBI, you can see it's just like itching to break out. Not quite ready yet, though. ZLab. Cool. It's okay. Like, this is a nice run. This is a nice little compression. It's just too evasive. Like, it's too volatile and evasive. You want it to maybe creep up to it and then pop. These types of moves are scary. I'll put an alert there and reassess it. Maybe it'll kind of fill in some more candles here and come back and revisit, and we'll see what happens. But there's a lot going on up in here, and this thing hasn't necessarily reversed. If you could consider that a big channel. I don't know about that. I'm probably going to ignore that alert when it goes off. I want to trade Zim, but I just can't. I've been wanting to trade Zim a lot. Look at that move right through there. Maybe take that. Zim has had some really nice runs on it. Right now it's got a big sideways compression, consolidation. And then it's probably going to break out again if it does. The issue is, are you going to be able to catch it on a D1 basis? I don't know. I have no idea. But if we look at the volume, see where all the trend lines are. On a chart like this, people always look for the steep ones, but really you need to look for the most shallow one. And the reason is because the shallow one is going to be resistant still. And if you're challenging the shallow one, you've already broken the steep ones. So that's really what we got to break. Yeah. That's the one we got to break. Now, I don't know if there's... Yeah, look at that. There's a VWAP in the way. So that's going to be resistance. It might break it. But you can't have that be too close because it might have to be rejected by it, confirm support and come back up, and support might be below your entry. So, hey, we'll see. I'll set an alert here. We'll reassess. What do we got here? YMAB. Kind of messy. What do we got here? There. I mean, maybe. But then you're not sure if you got one here. We got one here? Potentially. Can I catch a breakout here? Yeah, that's enough room. Do I have a steeper one coming at me, though? Sometimes this becomes quite boring to do. By the way, there is no way to automate this. If you think you can automate this, you're out of your mind, because you basically just said that this whole thing can be run by algorithms. In which case, you are now competing with quant firms, and you're going to lose. So if you think that you can automate doing the TA on your stocks, other than just putting up simple like highs, lows, that type of stuff, you're laughing. It's not going to work. So that could be one. What do we got here? Where does that one go? That's good. You know what? I'll set an alert on this. Where's the highest point here? Yeah. Okay, so it looks like from this big run, By the way, this is the highest point. From this big rally here, it's taken a long time to consolidate. It did break it, but there was still an algo in the way. And then it kind of confirmed support off all these SMAs. Harry says when the SMAs stack, they get strong. That's good. And then now hopefully we get some support off of that AVWAP contextually from this rip. And then we get this break, and then that works. I'll take it. We'll see what happens. I just got to be careful of this stuff here. This is really high volume. You need to make sure that when you have entered, you are in a day that has relative volume that can beat this. And here's how I do that. So look at this one. This is a 912,000 volume. By the way, this thing is very thin. I don't really care though. I don't have a $500,000 account. Like I'm not doing millions. I'm not doing like 30 contracts or whatever. So it doesn't appear to really make a difference in my trading. So this is 900,000 volume, and the average is about 277. So if I'm going to take the breakout, what I'm going to need to see is a relative volume that day of triple, of 3x, because I want it to be able to pierce through. So I'm going to need something that can match the volume of what this area is. Generally, if you have a day that is relative volume at or above the resistance level you're putting it from. By the way, anchored VWAP, same thing. So relative volume at or above the anchored VWAP from that day, or the horizontal levels from that day, or even, I don't know about the algos, maybe. If you have that relative volume, you are more likely to break that level. If you don't, then you should maybe take profits at that level, or don't enter that trade. XMTR. This thing is still going down. There's nothing here. You need to wait for it to go like sideways a bit and come back up. WVE. Jesus Christ. What's the catalyst on that? I don't know. I don't have my interactive brokers open. Let me look it up. Some sort of breakthrough RNA editing discovery. Okay. That's a story changer. Okay. And this is a nice little doji sandwich. It's going sideways a little bit. Some people call this a three-bar play, but careful saying that. What do I got here? This day, these days. Okay, so you can see what it's doing now. It's trying to find footholds. It's trying to find bids. Sometimes on these ones too, you can take this bottom day. See where it comes up. Look, this bottom day is still way down here. That might be just too far down. They don't care about that. Sometimes too, you can take the last candle of that day and you'll get it as well. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's an AVWAP from down here. So that's that news. Okay, so this is story changing. And from the previous day, from before the story on the stock changed, we have tested the bid there. You can see that bottom level. This top level has been tested. Yep. Now we need to see this one and then this one. And then if you get a breakthrough, like whatever trend line you see, if you get a breakthrough here, you can probably take it. But if you just see a straight rip through there, that's sketchy. Don't go for that. That's a chase. But if we see like a bounce and then a bounce and a breakthrough there, boom, I'll take that. And then I'll put a stop there, but I might give it a little bit more room, something like that, and see what I can get from it. Is there anything overhead that it'll get to? Now we take a look at what our targets would be on this thing. Okay, so the IPO AVWAP, which by the way is a thing for sure, is right here. Yeah, it's through that, so we don't care about that. That's the highest anchored VWAP you can put on the chart. So that's not an issue anymore. Now we're just looking at just general big overall trend lines. Is that one a thing? Sometimes I can look and go like, yeah, that's not. Nope, that's broken. What about the weekly though? Was that the one I was looking at? Yeah. Maybe there. I don't think that matters. Okay, so now the next thing I look at is really, really high volume days. and we'll see if any of those are higher than, no, nothing's touching that. Maybe this day? That's below. Okay, clear skies ahead on this one. Yes. I'm going to add that to my little watch list, WVE. That could be a phenomenal momentum trade. Look at this, 26 million on this. Well, that's a week. 17 million. Is there even another day in the history of this stock that's done that? Very promising volume. So then you're wondering, like, okay, well, how far do I ride this? I'd probably just partial out and then trail it. If you want to get fancy, you might be able to find an upsloping trend line, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to stop there. This is a good stock. It might need more time for the moving averages to catch up, because if we look at this one on here, it's riding the 3 EMA, so it's still in momentum mode. The 8 EMA may need to catch up with it a little bit, because if I take it, let's say it triggers tomorrow, or not, yeah, let's say it triggers tomorrow, what do I trail it with after I take profits? I would have to trail it with the 3 EMA. Yeah. Maybe the 8. We'll see. Like if my entry's here and this keeps going up. Okay, look. 1, 2, 3 days in. Let's say I'm ready to trail this thing. It's still my stop. Yeah. Maybe the 8, but I might have to trail the 3. We'll see. That's a quick one. Treat it like you're really trading it on like the 1 or the 1 hour time frame. You're really looking at it like that. Okay, good to know. Where were we? WVE. Okay, Wolf. I took it long here, but it was just such a choppy mess. Yeah, no, this thing is still consolidating. You might be able to take it out through here, but the issue then is it's just not really lining up with any sort of anchored volume weighted average price. So like the structure and the balance of liquidity between buying and selling within the context of the previous rally, which you're trying to catch another one of those, is not lining up, and you want it to line up so that you can actually enter in a place where you can be out quick if you're wrong. That's the whole concept. Nope, nothing there. I want this one to work, but it's a mess. Wolf is a mess. There's too much overhead resistance. There's not quite enough volume here. There's all these weird super high volume points up through here. It's still maybe in a downtrend. It's only got one lower high. I don't think I can take this. 1, 2. It might have another one, but you're going to have to wait a little while. This one could be good eventually, but it's not good. Like, it's not going to... I hope it doesn't trigger today or this week. I want to see it pull back further. It's already had a disgusting run. 3,000%. That's it. Yeah, and then you'd only be able to take it to there. You can use AV WAPs from really high volume days. You could also use D1 pivots. So like you can see that little point right there. It'll probably dick around right there. So we get a pullback through here and we get a breakout. Let's say there's some sort of downsloping trend line, and then we get like a breakout from that, and then we take it there, and then yeah, that's great. But this thing's, if this ends up being a good trade, I won't have to do anything or set an alert on it until like next week. It needs to go down a little more. This is Chinese. I'm not touching that. Too messy. Promising. But I know the catalyst on this one. It's a nuclear data center. This is not the best stock in the nuclear data center, and I believe that ship has already sailed. You're looking at stocks like CEG. This one, which I took excellent profits on, and I would have kept more, but I couldn't split the contracts up to have a nice partial profit on. I had to just take the whole thing off. But it was a 250% winner. SMR is also a good one, and then the last one is LU. This is the best one, but if you wanted to catch this one on that day, you had to take, look at this. I was ready for it, but if you wanted to catch that one, look at this. You get the news pre-market, you get the gap up, you head to enter here. How many of you want to take a 5-minute opening range high? But if you had the balls to take it, that was a 10 bagger. I think if you knew how strong the catalyst was, you could comfortably take it. This one doesn't have options, I don't think, so you couldn't have hedged it with puts. Okay, where were we? SMR? No, VST. Yeah, no, this one's not ready yet. It could have more upside on it, but it's kind of messy right now. If it sets up again, it'll be well. I don't know what to do with that. That's shit. Nice bull channel. This one's already marked up, as you can see. I was playing around with it. Biotechs will be strong. Unfortunately, this was the entry. And that's way too big of a day. That's too much ATR. As good as it looks, there's no setup. Nope. Oh, yucky. Uranium, once again. All tied in. A lot of these AI-based companies are going to use nuclear power for their data centers, which means all those stocks are going to rip. Hang on one sec. Okay. Uroy. There's nothing there. You're still in a downtrend. Upstart was it had bullish flow. You had to take that breakout. But you already had come from a trend. I like to take like the first day of a reversal, like a compression break, or I like to take like a downtrend and then bam, you take like that day. Because you can stay tight to it and you know when you're done. Here, if I took this breakout and it pulls against me, where do I... It's a breakout from a D1 level, but it's not a breakout from its trend. When do I leave if it goes against me? Do I leave here? Like I'd have to take a drawdown to here. Or up, I don't know, right? So that's just, I really don't like ambiguous mental stops. I like really rock solid ones where it's just like, yeah, I know for sure I'm wrong if it goes here. You might, in the 5-minute chart, let it like spike a little bit below it and back up and whatever. But you don't want the, you know, you don't want to have the chance of like, hey, maybe I could take another ATR drawdown from here. Like that just gets really messy and then you get in too deep and then you can't come back. And I'm done with that type of trading. This is a nice consolidation though. Maybe we just need to wait for that to catch up. Okay, well let's VWAP it up. All right, so I'm looking for now a compression break on this rip for more upside. Is there more upside? Yeah. Go to there. Right? Are there any AVWAPs in the way? What's the highest one on the chart? There. Might be one there. Yeah, so it... Okay, so it probably... There's probably one like here-ish. Maybe that one right there. You can see that little one there. And you won't always crank through them, and that's fine. But if you get rejected from a big one like that, and it doesn't really drop, that's a good sign. That means the next time it approaches it, it's more likely to break through to the next highest one. And the next highest one is like basically the highest one you can put on the chart. Like there. So I may have the ability to take a trade that has that much upside. So let's see here what we can do. That's high volume, that's high volume. So these are going to be key levels to play around with. These aren't, really. You don't want it to go close below halfway on this point, right through here. Although I would consider this like one big candle, so it might go to there. Let's see. If I mark it all up every single day, you can see that it's not really done confirming anything. Because look, this one broke through. Let me see. Broke through support. I guess so. I guess it kind of chopped around in there. Confirmed enough bid through there. Where's my trend line now? Is this my trend line? Is this my trend line? Potentially, yeah. But if I take this, then I run right into that, which is the high of this candle. I want to get the tightest possible entry I can so I can use a lot of size. And then that means if I win a lot. Tricky. Here's what I'm going to do. Clearly, this is the level here that they're trying to break. The highest point on here is, it's like the same, basically the same as this day, which makes sense because that's a ton of volume. So any break through that and fail like that, that's actually the level. So I want to see it break that. So I'll just set an alert there. And if things look nice, if I like the way it looks, I might be able to take it further. And you probably are going to need to see, how much volume is this? 20 million. Average is like 8. So you're going to see, you want to see 2, 2.5. So if I break above this point and I see like 2, 2.5 times R vol like around here, I might just go for it. Might take it, but the stop would be like here or maybe even there. And I'd get like a nice little chunk in through here. Maybe my stop would be like, I don't know, like $5. It's got enough ADR where $5 is fine. And then I can get maybe like, well, how far is that? 10? 2 to 1? It's okay. It's worth marking up. UNFI. I don't see anything here. Yeah, it hasn't even broken that yet. That's a nice spike in consolidation, though. Do we mark everything we see up? I guess we could, like just to learn. Okay. Well, we know for sure this is going to be one. By the way, if you want to make a trend line, you hold control on TC2000, and it'll snap to a point. And then once you snap to the first point, then you hold control and click it again. Make sure you have the crosshair, and it'll just go straight. And then I have some shit up in there. I hate having to zoom in on stuff. You really do want to get accurate with this, though. So right through there, down there. That's the secondary algo, the H minus. It broke that. Cool. It broke that. It broke. Did it break this? There's a gap. Oh, that's a mess. There's a gap too. There's too much shit in the way. But hey, if this thing has the right options, what I will do is, you'll see, hang on. I think it's down there. A set an alert. What I will do is straddle it. Straddling gaps with the right type of market works quite well. Because you either get a move up to here or you get a rejection. Like it has to do something when it's at the gap. Wherever the chart's at a place where it has to move somewhere else very violently, it's a good place for a strangle or straddle. Barring a good price. UEC. That might be good. Like in December or like late November. No. Even if you got an entry on this, like, ugh, yuck. Not nearly tight enough price action. I'm already in that one. TSE. I tried to enter this one, but I thought, hey, it's got low market cap. There's too much overhead resistance, AVWAP, on it, and so it needs a bigger pullback. But this is a really nice tight move. And we're not sure if it's not going to continue going down. So we really probably need to see a higher low, maybe even a bigger longer term one, like a bounce off of this level here, which will be the 50, and then up in. So really I just have an alert set there. And if it breaks there, I'll take a look at it again. If it's formed enough of a base and absorbed, like digested enough, I might take it. But if it's just going for it right there, I'm not going to take it. TRML, that's a strangle right there. If the debit works. You can see this gap. It either breaks into the gap, goes, or rejects. T-pick. Too messy. This is from a long time ago. I took a trade on it. You can see right through here. I took this entry. A little aggressive. Okay. Let's just Not worried about that one. TKNO. This one is interesting. There's no entry in the next week. Just to know right away. It's got a very small, low market cap. It needs to bounce off of this AV WAP. It's going to reject probably off of here, and ideally it bounces off of there, and then comes back up a little bit, and by then it'll give you that nice little H minus break. But by that time I'll have looked at all these charts one or two more times. God, I wanted this one to work so bad. Look at this amazing rip. It just didn't go. If it looks too good to be true, sometimes it's just not going to go. This is the highest AV WAP on there too. That's a tough one for these momos to break. But now it's down there. So, hey, it could do it. We'll see. Still on alert. Could ride the 50 up here, making higher lows. Break through these. Break this trend line. I'm not using this one because, once again, if you break the real big one, or if you break the most shallow algo line, you know you've broken all the others. So that one could still be good, but once again, that's not going to happen until, I would like that to happen at the end of November. TGI, obviously some sort of really nice catalyst here, but I don't even care about looking that up because the context, though, its positioning on the D1 is shit. Nope. Oh my god. There was an entry right through here. But look at the volume on this thing. Oof. I don't know. You know? I don't really care too much about absolute volume. I care about dollar volume. So there's a difference between a stock that's $3 and has 100K volume versus a stock that's $33 and has 100K volume in relation to the position sizes. That'd be like a $3 volume stock with a million per day volume, and people would take that. So it's not terrible, but I think that's what stopped me. I saw this entry. You can see amazing rip. Amazing move. I don't know what the catalyst was, but holy crap. And then a nice little pullback, and really, it's got such small market cap that this thing, if it's going to go, it's got to go now, because if it pulls back further, then the hype is over. There's not as much exciting pump. So the break here was really nice. I don't even know what the relative volume was because TC2000 doesn't go that far, but it was like 5x, 8x. It was a lot. It was like more than quadruple. Why didn't I take this? 1014? What was SPY doing on 1014? Fine. It was doing fine. Yeah, I could have taken it, but I didn't. Soft. So it breaks through here, gets a pullback, and then you want that revisit of this range high break from the highest AV WAP. And then that would have been a $2 stop, and it's currently up 460. Oh well. There's setups every day, so you don't need to be too frustrated. Another beauty was GDXU. So you have this nice move, and then this breakthrough here. And the reason why it was good is because the D1 chart's not that great. It's actually kind of shitty. But the reason why this is so good is because there's so much bullish flow on gold right now because of China and some basic material stuff. Just metals are really strong. Like, look at SLV, look at GLD, right? These are the gold miners ETF. So you can't, like if you look at NEM, it didn't quite set up the same because you might have had this rejection or something. But I really like GDXU because it just had a nice little tight entry and it was quite clean. It tried to break it on this day, but it didn't. And then on this day, it confirmed it. And then right at the end of the day, it had this like interesting little pop. And no other gold stock was doing that. So I thought, hey, that's looking good. I even called it out in the chat. And that was a 285 stop. The ATR is 348, so that's fine. And it ripped. But then what I was thinking was, man, gold is so damn volatile. I might wake up and tomorrow it'll be down here. And then I'm down 2R. And I was feeling like a little defensive. My mindset wasn't that aggressive, and I didn't take it. That's a good setup, too. not because the D1 chart as a whole is good. Contextually, the entry was good, but if you zoom out, the chart's pretty shit. But the catalyst behind it and how strong the sector was should have made up for it. TLK. Nothing there. That's interesting. That's okay. That's like a nice looking... cool. It's cool, but I can't really do anything with that. Biotech again. You're going to see biotechs. We talked about this one. SPRY. I like this one. I got a really nice win off it right here. This was a news catalyst at the same time as a break. And so I took that one right there. But you had to just, like, it got so climactic that I didn't quite get profits here. I think I took partial maybe like here, and then I took the rest of it like down here. So I didn't really get all the meat off the bone on it, but it was an okay trade. And since then, it's been a little evasive. I haven't quite been able to get into it. Sound has a lot of really good bullish flow in it. It's just not quite setting up the way I want it to set up yet. If we look at the volume on it, is there... Yeah, this is the most shallow big trend line, but then when you go down to here, there's probably like another one here, or maybe even, yeah, there's another one here. And you want, like I said before, you contextually, you're looking for it to do this again. You're not looking for like this. So when you take a trade like this, you have to wait for the anchored volume weighted average price contextually from this type of rip to be broken. You want to be on the bull side. You want the average person who is participating in this long to be back in profit, because that will discourage the average person who is participating in this short. They'll start covering, capitulating out. We already got one attempted down. That's good. You want that. And you've got these higher lows too, and you've got this price tightening up. This is looking really, really, really good. So what I want to see now on this is I want to see a break over this level. That's an easy one. Hopefully not tomorrow, because I don't like how choppy, like how wide range this crap is. The ATR in it is 26, kind of because of the tight compression, but a 26-cent ATR is pretty tight, and these bars are like more than that. So hopefully we get like a little chop sideways, and near the end of the week we get a breakout, or maybe even next week we get a breakout. I love when the price creeps so close, does nothing, and then goes. I want that. I don't like this like tiptoe reach as high as it can, and then it breaks it right at the tip there, and then you got to take it in, but then it goes all the way back down and then back up, and then you just get stopped out or something. That's a good one though. I know this one has bullish option flow, and I do believe it's related to, yeah, it's got the word AI in it. There you go. SOC. This was a nice little one right through there. But with that big a market cap, that was very dangerous to take. SMBR. Nothing. SMTC. This is another one that's really been running nicely, but it's a little too janky. It's not really tightening up its trends. So you just can't catch those breakouts. Maybe we get a 50 and then something off of, that's not even high volume. So where the hell is the algo from there? Could be any one of these. Yeah, it's just the TA is too ambiguous on that. It's not worth trading. SMR, one of those nuclear stocks. SLRN. Okay. All right, that's been enough time. I'm going to mark up the rest a little later. That's more stocks.